بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعدد كل ذرة ألف مرة كما تحب أن ترضى يا الله يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعدد من صلى وصام وبعدد من قاد وقام. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I want to begin, as we all should begin, of course, every morning by reflecting deeply and thinking about the deep sense of thankfulness we owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the way of the Muslim to always be in a state of reflection, to internalize every external experience, to make sense of our purpose and meaning. And therefore, by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the great gift of Islam, of Iman, for our health, for our senses, our being, we begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I also want to thank AlKauthar for the very kind invitation. I want to thank all of you for being here so prompt and early on time. I want you to look to your right and left and give a salam to the person sitting beside you. The brother did say that, your seat is your seat for the rest of the day, so yeah, perfect. So it's therefore important to acknowledge who is next to you. In life, in fact, we forget the importance of familiarity. Sometimes we transition through life and we kind of cross these temporal spaces in life, and we sometimes forget the ones close to us. It's like having neighbors. And you could have, in fact, very close neighbors, but you forget they're your neighbors. You don't even give salam to them or hello to them, and you pass them by. And on something, I think, as important as today, in terms of the events that we will consider, we will learn, inshallah, and discuss, having that sense of experience by recognizing who's on your right and left, it's something that's quite profound, and it will inshallah be a testament for all of us on the day that we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you might recognize each other, inshallah, by Allah's mercy on that day. Now, I want us to do a third thing, and that is something inside of you. You don't have to say anything, actualize anything, but it's based upon having the right intention for being here. That's something inside of you, rests in your heart. All of us maybe are here for different reasons. Some might be here because it's an AlKauthar event. Maybe others are here because first time in LMC Masjid. Who knows, but different reasons. But I want all of us to have this profound intention, niyyah. Al-amalu bin niyyat or bin niyyah. The Prophet. All right, so we were speaking about the importance of having a niyyah intention. And so therefore we intend the great pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all things that we do. And today, of course, we do the same. We are asking Allah for His divine acceptance, for His pleasure, for His closeness. And of course, together with that, we're seeking, of course, a few other things as well. On the one hand, we're seeking to understand the level of dehumanization, of lies, of deceit, of propaganda against the Muslimin in one geographical space of Palestine. When you think about dehumanization, you're dealing with layers and layers and layers and layers of stereotyping. And for us, it's the job of unpeeling those layers and layers and layers until we begin to see the human being in that frame. There's many contributors to the whole process of dehumanization, from state media, from teachers, from politicians, from people on the streets. Everyone has a role to play. And therefore for us as Muslims, we take a very, very noble responsibility towards, of course, our brothers and sisters in that landscape, but really for all people. So we will learn, therefore, about the negatives, about the deception and the deceit, about the lies. but also for us to learn about the profundity of and richness of a great history of Palestine. Why is that land so important for us? Why is it, for example, that we feel this sense of mobilizing, particularly now, because of what's happening in Gaza and Palestine? What is for some of us, it's like the center point of a lot of stuff, particularly Al-Aqsa Masjid. It's able to do that. How and why? What resonates with us? What connects with us when it comes to Islamic history of Palestine? So all of these things we will, inshallah, try and learn today. But I want to say something else, and that is a reminder that this is a course, and it's quite a lengthy course. And it will go through, inshallah, a lot of stuff, but it's likely that we will miss a lot of stuff. It's very difficult to encapsulate entire history of an entire people, entire landscape, only in the time that we have today. Even though you're thinking 9 to 6, but if you minus the breaks and everything, I don't think, I'm being optimistic and thinking we're going to cover everything today, but we will try our best, inshallah. And it's very likely that I haven't included many things. So when the slides were done the first time, there were like 65 slides. So I sent it to Rahim. And then I added, and it became 90 slides. And then when they were done, and it's done, you can't do anything, then there's other things I forgot to include. So you're always having this process of thinking what should be included. And so there are things that are not here, that should be here, I think, and I'll try and touch upon them, inshallah, in the course of today. And many, maybe other things as well. And we ask Allah for acceptance for all things. Allahumma ameen. So may Allah make this a beautiful moment for all of us, and a beautiful experience. And may we learn a lot, inshallah, today. The purpose of learning is to learn, to internalize, to encapsulate, and then to teach other people. So perhaps many of you are teachers, parents, guardians. Maybe you have a lot of people that you're responsible for. It's your job, therefore, to learn and then teach other people around you about the things that you learn, inshallah, today. So I want to begin, therefore, with those 5 things. The importance of gratitude, giving salam to each other, and then understanding the negatives of the level of deception and deceit and lies around this whole discourse and the people, and then to understand the importance of learning about why is the Quran, for example, why is so much of the Quran about history, about events of the past, about people of the past? How does that translate into how we understand the present? How does it make sense for us in terms of what we expect of the future? All of these things are processes. So once we understand the importance of what was, makes sense to us about understanding what is now and what could be, inshallah, for tomorrow. And then, of course, to have a great sense of hope-bearing. Remember that, the Muslims of Palestine, of Gaza, between, like they say, ahad al-husnayayn, one of 2 good things. And the ulama, they say about, like, the one of 2 good things is either victory or martyrdom. So, of course, all of us are saddened by the level of destruction and murder, savage murder committed against the Muslimin of Gaza, Palestine. All of it, we see it every day. We were talking about it on the way here in the car. That there is something like called an expectation about things that Allah says some people will do. وَلَتَعْلُنَّ عُلُوًا كَبِيرًا. They will express themselves with a profundity of arrogance and pride and creating of fasad and corruption on the earth. Allah says that's going to happen. They will do that. But we also have the point about Allah saying, وَلَا تَقُلْ لِمَنْ يَقْتُلْ. Allah says, don't say about the one who was killed in Allah's way, he's amwat, he's dead because he's alive. So we believe everyone who's been killed in Palestine is not actually dead, but in fact as a martyr. Why is it a sense of hope for us as Muslims? Because remember that when you have narratives in the Quran, again, this is history, like the narrative that's repeated the most of Fir'aun and Musa. All of us know something about Fir'aun and Musa, alayhi salam. But that's repeated the most. And so it's like in our time today, it's not just the protagonist and antagonist, Fir'aun and Musa and Fir'aun are out, but all of the actors around the whole scenario are also here. So you have, of course, in the Quran, Fir'aun, you have Harun as well. You have Musa and Harun, you have Fir'aun, you have Qarun. You have magicians of Fir'aun. You have the mother of Musa. What amazing sense of bravery and patience and resilience in the mother of Musa. You have Musa, have Harun, Fir'aun, Qarun. You have Haman. Everyone's there in the landscape. But one thing to remember is this. There came a point of no return when Allah mentioned the magicians. Because these are like the media machinery around Fir'aun, magicians, and they're doing all this trickery and stuff in order to deceive the people and then prove the case for Fir'aun, to validate his existence. But when it came a point when they saw the miracles of Musa, Allah sent him Musa alayhi salam, and then they made prostration on the ground, and they said, Amanna, we believe in the Lord of Musa and Harun, we believe in Allah. And Fir'aun says, how dare you believe without even asking me beforehand? And they say that, and he said, I will slaughter you, cut off your hands and feet and all of this. And they said, do whatever you wish to do. All you can do is a life of this world. That was a point of no return. There was no going back from that point onwards. And I think that what's happening today in our contemporary history are many of these points of no return. Not only in the sense of the mobilizing of the ummah, the efforts, the renewal of faith through something external to all of us, but also in terms of the level of deceit and deception. Whatever, if people weren't aware yesterday, then they're of course more aware today. And then number 4, the level of hope. You know, in the story of the boy and the king, maybe all of us have heard about the story of the boy and the king. It's a long hadith. Maybe I think it's the longest hadith. The Prophet told that story. And Surah Al-Buruj, in fact, is a surah that really condenses the events of the boy and the king. Surah Al-Buruj. And so in that story, by the end of it, when people, they believe in Allah, and the boy, he says, if you want to kill me, then take an arrow from the quiver and shoot the arrow and say, Bismillah, Rabb hadal ghulam, in the name of Allah, the Lord of this boy. And when you shoot the arrow will hit, and it will hit me, and I will die. And all the people are there, whole scene, spectacle, images, everyone's there, whole village. And the king thought that if everybody is there, seeing the whole thing, and then the boy is killed, these two things out of the way. One, the human spectacle. Everyone is a witness. It's like shock and awe. Everyone can see. And number 2, the main cause of the problem, the boy, is removed. How can there not be a victory in this for him? And one advisor comes along to the king, because all the people are saying now, Amanna. We believe in the Lord of this boy. We believe the Lord of this boy. And the advisor comes and says, أَرَأَيْتَ مَا كُنْتَ تَحْذَرُ فَوَاللَّهِ قَدْ نَزَلَ بِكَ. Do you see the thing you were scared of in the beginning has now fallen on your head? The thing you were scared of in the beginning has now come to you. Meaning you were scared, people believing, and now they're believing. And the fact that you're seeing some people embracing Islam, returning to Islam. In Lewisham Masjid, Imam Shakil said it's 8 out of 10 people who are embracing Islam because of something happening in Palestine. So Allah is, Inna Rabbaka Alimun Hakim, your Lord is all-knowing, your Lord is all-wise. Allah knows the best of what happens, and we'll discuss this inshallah in a second. And so very quickly then, things we will inshallah cover. So, here we are. So you can see, therefore, there's 15 main areas. We will try and cover, inshallah, today. We're going to begin with the first one here, called understanding spaces, and their spiritual significance. I think if we understand this, it will make a very big difference to our sense of being, about our faith, about Islam, about how we carry ourselves in this life. So I won't go through all of them here. Maybe I should, in fact. So number 2, therefore, Prophet Musa and Al-Quds, and then Prophet Yusha bin Nun and Al-Quds, and then Prophet Dawood and Sulaiman, alayhi salam, and then the family of Imran, and the role and purpose of Isa, alayhi salam. The number 6, Masjid al-Aqsa and its virtues. Number 7, Christianity and Jerusalem, and how that plays out into Islam. Number 8, conquest of Al-Quds by Ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. Number 9, Al-Andalus as the first site of crusading. Number 10, the Crusades, Nuruddin, Salahuddin, and the reconquest. 11, building projects under Ottomani Khilafah, particularly Sulaiman Qanuni. And number 12, the expulsion and dehumanization of the Palestinians, contemporary now and also before. Number 13, positive treatment of the Jews under Islam. And number 14, Jerusalem in the end of time. Number 15, what we can do now.